Okay, so this is pure pool. I'm in the middle of a little free roam session here. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what it is. Let me first take my gear off. I've got lots of little jangly things. And I don't really want them making too much noise. Because for this, what I've had to do, excuse me, is move my microphone in front of my face slightly so that you can hear me a little bit better. And you don't want to hear this all the time because, well, let's face it, it's annoying. So this is pure pool. What we're going to do is we'll set up free play game. Alright, how's about that? Now, or have I set up snooker or something? Oh, I have set up snooker. Okay, so basically pure pool is a pool simulator. It is not a game, but it is a game, but it's not. Now, I love it. I've racked up the best part of 300 hours playing this game, and I thought I'd do a video on it, or two, maybe a few. And basically, what it is it's as realistic as you can get without actually playing. So, the way it works is there are no perks, there are no bonuses or stats or anything like that. All it is a queue here. Yeah, that's what you got. And the balls. And you can have the lines to help you. I recommend some lines. There are 3 difficulty settings. Amateur, which gives you the lines all the way down. And if I play a little shot and then show you what it looks like to be aiming up to a ball, it gives you kind of the trajectory. So you can sort of aim like that, right? But if you apply spin, it changes. So it's not quite as easy as you'd first think. Because if I, tell you what I do, hang on. Put it back to about there. A little bit of left-hand side. If I play that really slowly, see where the black went? It went completely away from where it was, where the line was saying. So even though you've got lines, the physics of the balls are as realistic as you're going to get in a game, within reason. Okay, so that's what you're playing with here. That's what makes it more of a sim to me than anything. Is that there are no helpers other than those lines that are there. There are no whatever. It's you and the balls, and if you get it slightly wrong, you don't pop balls, basically. Now, why is this fun? Well, I play snooker in real life, and I have done for about a year now. And this game has helped me in many ways, more than one way, in improving my game. It's angles, it's... yeah, I missed that. Oh, I got it. It's snuck in. It's angles, it's positional shots, it's everything, yeah? Nice little stuns, sort of... starting to give me a little insight into what happens with the balls when you do certain things. So if I play a ball, play a shot with only a tiny little bit of side, a tiny little bit of screw back, and then hit it quite firmly, you realise sort of the angles and what happens. And that in turn has helped me with a lot of the game in real life. You can't make up for the fact that in reality you actually have to have an awful lot of strong technique. I'm not there yet with my technique. I don't think anybody ever is in the history of the game, but it's certainly helped me with angles, which is one big thing that I was struggling with. So I'll clear some of these up a moment. You can see, like, for me it's therapeutic. All right, when if ever I'm going a good deal of stress, I like to come through and I like to play this. The pool version is just as good, but when I found that there was a snooker it's a DLC, I looked up how much this is, and it is about a £5. For a tenner, you're going to get everything. The snooker DLC, the lot. Right, so I kind of want to end up a little bit of top spin. So we're probably going to end up around here. It's not going to go over there. Right, a little bit of top spin, well, not hard enough, but it was on that line. If you noticed, it's not exactly, So even with lines, you've got to be able to play the game in a way. You can do a lot of shots that no one would ever try in real life because you've got unlimited amounts of power. The harder you hit the ball, the better. Yeah, see. But it's just so nice to just come in and just nice little shots. Now this isn't all there is. I'm, like I said, at the moment I'm playing in free roam just so that I can sit here and talk to you for a moment or two, but there's quite a bit to do. There is a career mode, And there's also a few challenges that you can partake in, and the challenges are nice. I've done a few of the career modes, and they're a bit samey. They're a bit, very much the same each time, but it's fun. It gives the game a bit of life. It's something to do. So I'll show you those in a moment. I'm sort of enjoying this a bit. I don't have to actually take these red colour. If you noticed, I've sort of just you can take any when you're in free roam, but I just like potting. We'll miss this one, I suspect. That's about right, I think. I got it. Wrong side of the blue. That way, maybe a little bit of back. There we go. Have we landed on the red? We have. We'll miss this one now. Whee! There we go. Oh dear. So yeah, I've been playing for about 300 hours on this game, and I've got some records, world records on the game in terms of stats, but the idea in snooker is that you make as big breaks as possible using red colour. If you don't know, reds are worth 1. And then the colours are worth an incremental amount. Now, all the colours are on their spots now, so I can show you. Yellow is worth 2, green is worth 3, brown is worth 4, blue is worth 5, pink 6, black 7. Right? So, all the reds come down here. There are 15 reds. And the job is clear a red, clear a colour. You can't take a colour any other time. It's red colour, red colour, red colour. When all the reds are gone, then you go through the colours in order. So it's yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black. The maximum you can score is 147. So if you go red, black, that's 8 points. Well, you can do that 15 times plus all the colours, gives you 147. That's why it's one of the most difficult things to achieve in any sport. I think it is argued that it's one of the most difficult things you can do in a sport. A 147. It's probably the equivalent. I don't know what it is. They say sometimes it's the equivalent of doing a hole-in-one 5 or 6 shots in a row. It's hard because, as you've seen, like you've got to keep the the white in a certain position so that it's potable, and any slight angle and you're screwed. So and I've never done one here. I've made a couple of centuries, a 140 or something like that, a 138 I think I've had, but I've never had a 147 because it is hard, even in a video game. And now just imagine it in real life where you've actually no lines or anything like that. So let's just take the colours real quick. I want to finish this one up. May as well. We've we've gone through all of them. May as well finish the game off. It'll just re-rack them after. Oh, way too far, way too far. Probably. If I miss, I'll just set up a new game. Right, let's see if we can, a little bit of top. Too far again. Should have the blue up to the top though. If it doesn't keep rolling, Right, we want to bring the white around about here somewhere. Didn't get into it enough. Not firm enough. So it ain't easy. It's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. But we have hopefully cleared the colours, which is nice. Something I cannot do in reality. There we go, nice. Right, swig of coffee, and then we'll have a look at some of the challenges. So, there you go, here's the career. You've got US 8 ball, which is what we were at the start. US 9 ball. Amateur snooker, which is the one with the most lines. Pro snooker has less lines. It doesn't go for quite as long. And then when you change the angle, if you notice the angles, the lines stay pretty solid. Well, on Pro, the lines are much shorter. They're probably about half as long. But when you start to turn the angle, they widen. So you can't really tell exactly where it's going to go. It's much harder, especially for shots at a greater distance. So that's what you're looking at here, and then of course Master is no lines, and I can only pot a couple balls doing that, because the reason why you'd think, that's your true level, that's where the game's hardest. It's hard, but it's not that. It's more to do with the fact that how do I describe it? The angle of the white, right, and where your cue isn't where you look at it down when you're actually playing a shot in real life. For a start, your head isn't where basically where your view sight is pretty much where your right hand would be, or your left hand if you're right-handed, on the table when you're playing a shot. Your head is further back, so the view is weird. But not only that, sometimes you're not straight. You're not at the right. It's so hard. It's unreal. It's different. It is different. So lines aren't that big of a deal for me. I don't mind them at all. Yeah, right. Let's have a look. So career's there, but in the career mode, you've got all sorts going on. You've got the colours, which is like a little challenge. I'll show you that one in a second. So you can put the white wherever you want in the D, and then the job is take the colours as fast as possible. You can miss, but obviously if you're going to be quick, you can't. Right, I've ballsed it up here because the green pretty much has to go up there. White will be around here somewhere in a moment, hopefully. We don't miss. No, not hard enough. Now you see how the white, you lose the white. You don't end up in a situation where you can do it proper. Have we scored? We have, but now we've got a very hard blue. It's pretty much a half ball cut. You virtually start working off of instinct after a while. I thought I'd fluked it then. Oh, I have. You pretty much start working off of instinct. So I don't generally use the lines. I have them there just to, make it easier on myself. This is relaxation. This isn't like, this is what we trained for. Like, this is just chilling out. So yeah, and the idea is you take the colours as fast as possible. Now, I don't happen to have a record for this. I don't know where I am in the world. But you can go and do that properly. Snooker colours. Apparently I'm third. But I don't know how that guy did it. That isn't hacking, by the way. 26 seconds. That is possible. It's not one of those where it is impossible and they've just cocked it up. Like, it is possible to achieve that. But as you can see, we've got a different idea because it is whatever it is. Snooker Breakpoint is where I like to hang out, as you can see. 223 points. Now, Snooker Breakpoint, let's have a go at this. This is very simple. Basically, it's the same rules, but reds are counted as time. So as you can see there, 1 minute 30. When I pot a red, I get some more time. And then, after I've potted a red, I pot a colour. Well, once I've potted a colour, I get the colour's number value, point value, in points. So if you look here, well, I'll have a look. What are we on? 1 minute 5 when we pot it. So it's, you get about 15 seconds extra time. If I now go ahead and pot the blue, I will accumulate 5 points. Yeah, 5 points. A lovely little cannon spread there. Let's go for the pink in a moment, shall we? Alright, I guess we're taking the blue. I've not got the best cue ball control in the world. That's why my pots aren't amazing sometimes. But like I said, what you're watching is someone who's been playing this for about 300 hours. And for an actual snooker player, like someone who plays it in real life, that's nothing. Oh, red 2? Oh, hang on, okay. There are some differences. That happens very rarely for me, but there are some slight changes of rules. You can pot any colour you want, but as long as you hit the colour that you've nominated first, so I want pink, I'll hit pink first. If I then pot the blue, we're okay. Not like in a real game. There are some differences, which I just learnt about. I only realised that the other day, interestingly. Can we take the pink from here? We can. We want this red next to it. There we go. Oh, a little bit far. Stun it, keep it there. Take the blue, pink into the pocket that's behind us. Too far, I can't see it. Fuck's sake. Definitely can't see it. The objective is to pot as much as you can, as quickly as you can. Because obviously that timer is running away with you. And if you pot well, and you pot properly, you end up in a situation where you accumulate quite a nice amount of time. And you should be able to rack up well over 100 points if you can pot balls well. Back for the blue or the pink, depending on how far we come. Blue it is. Or may even need a yellow here. No, it should be okay. It's not the easiest blue in the world, but like that would be a shot that no real life player would play, because it's just, you know, look at the cue angles here. There's physical demands that need to be met when you're playing a real game. But whereas here, it's just pot, pot, pot all day long. Don't pot the white. I hate doing that. I do that so often. But we're not doing too badly here. I split the reds quite poorly earlier on. White's going in. What we got here? We got this one here. Right, blink. Back for the blue. Not what I want to be doing. If you notice, the black's been tied up. I would have been working to get on the black earlier if I could have done, but I just ballsed it up. You don't like seeing reds get pushed over by that. They call it pushed up. You know, black is out of action. A lot of top spin on this one. A fair bit of power. Ah, I cocked the red. Oh, no. Oh, I hate flukes. I don't like it. Right, see if we can bring the black into play, shall we? Missed it. Oh, blue it is. I'm going to actually have to move this at some point. Basically, when the thing that makes this hard is when you've potted all the reds, your job is then to it re-racks them. It just sets them back up. You don't have to clear them all. It just sets them back up, which is, you know, you have to clear them, and that isn't easy when one gets tied up. So there you go, you've seen that one. There's another one which I've played a fair bit of, but I'm not very good at. It's called Perfect Potter. And no, it's not a Harry Potter lookalike contest. This one's a bit simple. We'll absolutely nail this now we've been on the snooker table. Now that I've broken off, I can't miss. I've actually done a terrible job of it as well. Look at all these reds that are along there. That's going to be interesting. So now that I'm here and I've broken off, I cannot miss. If I miss, game over. Alright? Now pool is a bit like snooker in that you use a stick, but the game itself is totally different because it requires a complete different mentality. There's a lot more, you've got less room for a start, so there are a lot more of a different type of shot. Plants, as they're known as, so when you hit the white and then that hits a red and then that hits another red and goes in, that's known as a plant, so it's a plant shot. Those are, come on. Those are very common in pool. They aren't very common in snooker. Differences between pool and snooker are so vast. The tables are virtually made of a different cloth. We've missed. Look at that, didn't even pot one. Cloths are completely different. The cues are bigger on pool. The pockets are wider. The balls are bigger. It's a different game entirely, but it's just as fun. Snooker is, in my mind, a bit more challenging though, and that's why I like playing it. Because as you see, I was just potting God knows how many balls earlier on when I was on the snooker table, and this, in theory, is easier. But you know, put it this way: Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's currently ranked number 2 in the world at snooker. Right? I watched his. He did a show where he went around. It was a bit of a travel channel-y type thing, where he went around and he played people at pool, and he only beat a couple of them. He lost a lot. Because the game, while he's an excellent cueist, he's very good with a cue and brilliant at, you know, at the game. The game is different. The game is different. It's an interesting theory. Oh, I've bollocks that up. It's an interesting theory, though, where people try to defend pool because there's a lot of argument about how hard is it. Is it harder than snooker? I think the general consensus is no, it's not harder than snooker because there's less going on. You know, it's bigger balls.